If this song took you back in time, then you are at the right place. I welcome you all to the 65th meeting of Bright Hearts Toastmasters Club. Today, our theme is Safar Sangeet, in which we will go through the journey of melodies from timeless melodies from 1950s to 1990s. But before we get lost in music, I will. We need to tune our instruments, or in this case, set the stage with club's mission. So, like every Toastmasters club shares the same mission. We provide a supportive learning experience to our members, in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence. Every Toastmaster, this organization was founded in 1924, Englewood, Colorado, and which now spans to 148 countries. Just like a great orchestra needs practice to sound perfect, we need to, just like a great orchestra needs practice to sound perfect, we need to tune our instruments right. So for that, we need to set some ground rules. First, please turn off your mobile phone or put them in silent mode. I'll give you 20 seconds to do that. Done? Please avoid topics related to sex, religion, and politics, as these are sensitive topics. Whenever a speaker is coming onto the stage, please follow a handshake or a fist bump protocol. Please do not crosstalk while a speaker is speaking on the stage. And please enter and exit only when there is an applause. In addition to these ground rules, since this is a long 2 hour 45 minutes meeting, the refreshments will be available at the right hand corner's desk as you exit the room. For restrooms, as you exit the door, take the stairs to the first floor, take the first left, then again a left, and the washrooms will be at the end of the gallery. With that, I would now like to introduce the presiding officer of the day. He is someone who wears many hats and occasionally a chef's hat. He works as a principal delivery manager in an AI startup and a passionate cook who believes that both software and food should be served with perfection. His version of work-life balance is simple: work all day, Toastmasters in the evening, and cook whenever the stove is free. So, ladies and gentlemen, I like to welcome you all, the presiding officer of the day, Sayuj Varghese.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sangam. And good evening, fellow Bright Hearts, Toastmasters, and dear guests. How's the Josh? Great. So today we have a wonderful theme. We're talking about the golden era of Indian music. Speaking about golden, Bright Hearts Toastmasters was chartered in September 2024. It started with 20 members and now we have 46 members. And not only that, last year we won the President's Distinguished Club Award, the highest rated award in Toastmasters. And Toastmaster International decided, oh, this seems to be very easy. Let's make it tough. And so they introduced the Smedley Distinguished Award, which will be given to the club who gets all 10 points. And you know what we said? Bring it on. And right now, we're just 1 point away from getting to that. So, Bright Hearts is a great place to have the meeting in, right? Now, before we get on to the theme and the Toastmaster of the day, I would like to invite some guests on stage. Tell us your name, how you heard about Bright Hearts. First, I would like to call upon stage. Sure. Tell us your name, how you heard about Bright Hearts.
Hi everyone, my name is Afifa and I heard about Toastmasters from my manager. So he said you'd really like it and I think you should go. So here I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Aviva, right? Aviva. Afifa.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Afifa. That's a lovely name. I got it right at the third time. Okay, we'll have one more guess. Yes. Tell us about your name and how you heard about Bright Hearts.
Uh, good evening, one and all present here. This is Raghav Kumar Singh this side, and I got to know about this event from my PG mate Devanshu. Thank you. Have a nice one.
Thank you. Thank you, Raghav, and thank you, Twin Show. Sir and ma'am, can we have you both on stage? We have a special guest.
We have 1 minute, both of us together, or 1 minute
No,
each?
together. Please, someone see, ma'am. So what I want is tell us your name and tell us something very interesting about Akshay that we can pull his leg on.
Oh, wow. Okay. For those who didn't meet us before, we are Akshay's dad and mom. My name is. Hi. Thank you for the applause. My name is Umman, and this is Anita. And regarding Akshay, there is nothing funny to say. He is a very serious guy who was taken on after his dad. Yeah. So I don't pull his leg, and he doesn't pull my leg.
But I
So-
have something to say. Yeah, he's a younger one. I have an elder son too, but he was a very quiet, shy, introvert type. My elder one is a total extrovert, but after he joined Toastmasters, it's completely changed him. So I think Toastmasters is a great platform for people to come out and talk, and all the best to you all. I wish we had it when we were young. It would have made a difference. All the best to you all. Nice meeting, seeing so many faces.
Thank you, Akshay's mom and dad. Akshay, you will wait till we have our next meeting. Okay, with that, I think we should progress on the meeting. I declare the meeting 65 open. So today we have a great theme, Safar Sangeet. It talks about the golden era of music, the 1950s to the 1990s. In 1980s, I used to watch a lot of TV. Stop calculating my age. Yeah. So we used to have this program called Chitrahar, which ran in DD National. Okay, so every Wednesday at 8 p.m. we used to go sitting in front of the TV, waiting for the songs to come. Whether it's Amitabh Bachchan with his bulb saying Sara Zamana, or Mitunda with his dance. I'm a disco dancer. But it used to be fun. only those 30 minutes I used to enjoy. And then come 90s, it was a different era altogether. How many of you have made mixtape? So mixtape is where you take an audio cassette that was something like a CD long when I was younger. So you take songs from all the other places and you ask the guy to mix and put it in a cassette. And then if it's a romantic one, you do give it to the one you like. And that's what I did one day. I made a lovely mixtape songs and I gave it to the love of my life. And then here you go. You know what she said? Sorry, Sayuj, I like Sangeet. Safar you, Sangeet. That is what I said. So with that, I would like to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, someone who is a software professional by the day, and then he works on a lot of things at night, whether it's gymming, running, or reading books. And he is the founder of the Humble Bumble, one of the fastest growing book clubs in Bangalore. And he's also a Toastmaster for past 8 years and winning lot of awards across District 121. 9 finalists, 9 times, 7 times podium finisher, 3 times winner, which also includes the 2024 International Speech Contest of District 121, and 22 and 23 evaluation contest champion of District 121. And most importantly, he is the co-founder of Bright Hearts Toastmasters Club and is also a birthday boy today. So please welcome on stage Toastmaster Akshay. Kevin forgotten what Akshay told me when sent a message that all role takers have to do. All role takers have to do. So I'm here to sing a song. Okay. So for this song, I needed 2 props. One is an umbrella, and one is someone with long hair. Okay. So this is a song from 1955 movie, okay, which talks about love being very hard, love being scary. And most important lesson that I learned is never to get romantic in the rain unless you have taken a flu shot. Okay. Here's to embarrassing myself. प्यार हुआ इकरार हुआ है प्यार से फिर क्यों डरता है दिल प्यार हुआ इकरार हुआ है प्यार से फिर क्यों डरता है दिल कहता है दिल रास्ता मालूम नहीं है कहाँ मंजिल कहता है दिल रास्ता मुश्किल मालूम नहीं है कहाँ मंजिल. Now the stage is all yours.
Hey. I want you all to think of a time. I want you all to think of a time. A time before Spotify. A time before YouTube. A time before we had to skip ads. When music arrived slowly through radios, through vinyl records, and through cassettes. And yet, they stayed in our hearts for decades. A time when one song could define an entire love story. A time when an entire nation could be comforted by one voice. And a time where lyrics of songs felt like they were written for you. Today, we are going to go over all of the beautiful Hindi music from 1950 to 1990. But the purpose of this meeting isn't just to reflect on these old songs. No. It is to reflect on society. Hindi music wasn't designed to just entertain us. It reflects every generation, its hopes, its heartbreaks, its rebellions, and its romances. Once upon a time, when a nation was freshly independent and finding its identity, songs reflected those ideals. As the nation grew restless and more energetic, as did our music. And finally, in the era of cinema, where love took over, songs were replaced by melodies that were grand. So today, don't think of Safar Sangeet as a nostalgia trip. Rather, think of it as a way we can all reflect on how the evolution of Hindi music has impacted us and what we can learn in terms of expression, emotion, and impact. Today's meeting is going to be a special meeting because it is what Toastmasters refers to as a speech marathon. There are going to be 8 prepared speakers and 8 speech evaluators. Before we kickstart this speech marathon, I would like to invite our timer on stage for the day to go over the timing cards and his objectives. Please welcome on stage Brightheart Teju Raju. Teju. 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 Teju.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and beloved guests.
Good evening.
So, I am your timer today. To set the mood, I'll be borrowing like couple of lines from classic music. जिंदगी है सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना. Okay. So here are the rules for timing. Icebreaker will be getting 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll be raising a green card. At 5 minutes, I'll be raising a yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I'll be raising a red card. And for prepared speeches, you will be getting 5 to 7 minutes. I'll be raising green card at 5 minutes and yellow card at 6 minutes and red card at 7 minutes. And for evaluations, you will be getting 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be raising a green card, and at 2.5 minutes, I'll be raising a yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll be raising a red card. So just like this song, life and our meeting flows best when the rhythm is right. And I'll be helping you with all my signals so that you can create a crisp, impactful, and perfectly timed speeches. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Brightheart Teju. With that, let's introduce the evaluator for the first prepared speaker for today's meeting. Can I have on stage to evaluate speaker number 1, Brightheart Varun Mangamuri.
In the spirit of today's theme, I would also like to borrow 2 lines from one of the Hindi classic song. Unfortunately, this is the same song which Tej had prepared. So I'll sing it again, but I'll give a different meaning to it. जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ हो कल क्या ये जाना. Sorry for that. Which literally means that life is a pleasant journey and no one really knows what tomorrow holds. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. With the thought of life being a journey, today my target speaker Rinat is attempting his very first icebreaker speech of his pathway persuasive influence. The purpose of this project is to introduce himself to the club and understand the basic structure of public speech. Timer, please note the speech time is 4 to 6 minutes. One small request to the audience, since this is Ninad's first icebreaker speech, let's encourage him by giving a standing ovation once his speech is completed. With that, I wish all the best to Ninad. Have fun on the stage and remember one thing, Jindagi ek safar hai suhana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Varu. With that, every composer, every singer, every lyricist starts off somewhere with a first line, a first tune, a first performance. Today, our very own Brightheart Ninad will be embarking on his very first Toastmasters speech here at Small Talks, here at Brighthearts. To present his icebreaker speech, give a huge round of applause for our first speaker of the day, Brightheart Ninad Deshpande. Ninad Deshpande. Being Ninad. Being Ninad. Ninad Deshpande. All the best.
So, as being an icebreaker speech, I want to talk about being Ninad. He's my best friend. So, hello everyone. Good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guest. My name is Ninad. So, as the Ninad meanings, so it comes in a two names like Ni and Nad. The Nad meanings is like a tandav beats on which Lord Shankar dance, which is unstoppable, which cannot be handled. Its meaning as Ni Nath, that dance, the energy, the power which cannot be controlled. Ninath. And I, being Ninath, was exactly opposite. I was slow. I used to be procrastinate a lot. I used to be a person, a lazy, kind of, okay, let's do it later. That kind of a person I was. So as the things were going on, I was not even aware of how the things are. Like example, like how to take a plane ticket, how to book a bus ticket, how to take a train ticket. Not even a single thing I was aware of. So as the journey prolonged, the best part was that I want to tell you how I was. I want to give an example how I was. So in 2022, I got my first opportunity to work in Bangalore. So I took a train ticket, AC ticket, and the number was WL25. Not aware what is WL. The train was on the station, and my mom asked, what's the seat number? I said, window seat, WL 25. But now the number has been changed. It's WL5. Post 5 minutes, I got a text. Your ticket has been cancelled. Refund in process. So that kind of person I was. So now I had an opportunity to talk with TC. But as being Ninath, scared of things, I took a back seat. My friends and family talked, make sure that I get a ticket, and I boarded a train and I came to Bangalore. The best part happened that as being scared of every time, the best thing was it's fine. It's fine that I am scared. It's fine that I am scared of multiple things. But rather not doing a things, let's do the things in a right way being scared. So that attitude I always carried. After coming to Bangalore, 1 year, I didn't know how to travel, in a commuting in a like transport we can call bus, rapido, not. So first year I was just going to office, coming back to a room. That's how I used my first 1 year in Bangalore. But later on, how I got involved, the best thing happened with me an NGO. So I got into this NGO, which I don't want to include the name. So I started to be as a part of volunteer with a student with disabilities. So I got to learn that my best part was to interact in a sign language. And I was really good at it. I started to communicate with students. I started to connect with them. And later on, I found like slowly how I worked in NGO, my role from being a volunteer, it turned to a super volunteer. Super volunteer to a coordinator. Coordinator being a community coordinator. And by the end of the year, I was handling 18 NGOs at a time. So without knowing me, myself, I was at that place, I was managing things. I was managing things on time. I was talking with people, interacting with people, making sure my soft skill get improved. As the journey continues, then I got into multiple opportunities, and that's how it is. So every time the people ask your names, your name sound like a bit kind of difficult to say it out loud. Don't worry, guys. It also faced myself also. It's a bit hard to say, like Ninath. So whenever I think like if I'm getting fumbled on the wording like N, Ni, Na, I would suggest you guys start with my name at least 5 times. Speak in your head like Ninath. Ninath 5 times. Speak again and again. So it would make your starting word like me, like more stronger. So that how I do. So that would be my introduction to a group. I would like to call Toastmaster of the day, Akshay.
Thank you so much, Brightheart Ninad, for that wonderful icebreaker speech. I can completely relate. I think all of us have that one weird quirk we have when we come to a new city for the first time. How do we figure it? When I came to Bangalore for the first time, I had a little grocery store right under my first house, which was way back in Hulimav, where they would give these 15-liter water cans. I used to purchase the cans, but I was always too scared to ask them to deliver it to my place, which was three floors up. So I'm not kidding. For 3.5 years, I would buy my water can, carry it from the shop all the way home, up 3 flights of stairs, and that's where my great physique comes from. So sometimes some mistakes have rewards. Now let's go back into Safar A Sangeet, and specifically let's go to the 1950s. On 26th January 1950, something happened. What is that? The Constitution of India. It was on 26 January 1950 that the Constitution of India was drafted. India was just a few years off getting freedom from the British rule. We were a young country emerging from the shadows of colonialism, trying to find an identity that was quintessentially Hindustani. There is no song that perfectly captures the spirit of the 1950s like this one. मेरा जूता है जापानी ये पगलू इंग्लिस्तानी सर पे लाल टोपी जूती फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी मेरा जूता है जापानी ये पगलू इंग्लिस्तानी सर पे लाल टोपी जूती फिर भी दिल है Mera Juta Hai Japani isn't just a song. Its picturization and music video tells a beautiful story of a nation trying to find independence, of Indians trying to find their identity. It's a song about nationalism. Most importantly, it's a song about how we have to be proud about being Indians despite foreign influence. The entire song has been shot in Bombay, where Raj Kapoor walks, mingles with all the people, workers, vendors, crowds, children. Everyone is alive, chaotic, hopeful. A young India looking for its identity. The tramp like Charlie Chaplin character played by Raj Kapoor in many ways represented the common man of that time. Poor in material wealth, but rich in spirit. Just like we analyze the layers of this song, it's always important to have evaluators to analyze the layers of speeches. So can we have the evaluator for our second speaker to come on stage, Toastmaster Sumit Ranjan, who would be joining us online. Could he check his volume on the laptop itself? Just, yeah. You have to Sumit, can you say a test
Hi,
phrase?
Akshay. Hi, hello everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone.
Sumit, can you try that again? We're just seeing if we can.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Okay. Let's try this one more time. Sumit, can you one more time just say a phrase?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
All right, you're audible to everyone in the room, Sumit. You can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Today, I'll be evaluating German. German would be attempting his level 1 project 2. The topic of the speech is writing a speech with purpose. The speech time would be 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of the project would be to learn basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech. As the evaluator, I would be focusing on how clearly the speaker communicates the purpose of the speech and how effectively the speech is organized. Please help me in welcoming German, and all the best. Thank
Okay, thank you so much, Sumit. We are reconnecting the laptop shortly, but that is fine. It should not interrupt. Introducing our second speaker on stage. Just like Mukesh created an unforgettable song in the last song that I just played, it's important for every speaker to come here and create an unforgettable memory. Please welcome on stage Bright Heart, Jurmin Ahmed. Jurmin, 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 Jurmin. Jurmin Ahmed, the meaning isn't in the name. The meaning isn't in the name, Jurmin Ahmed.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
Hello, everyone. Let's see if the meaning is in the name or not. To begin with, let me start with a simple question. Have you ever wondered your name, just few letters, have some invisible impact how your life turned out to be? Would you be a different person? Would you have a different lifestyle or maybe even a better luck if your name had been different? Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. My name is Jurmin.
Good evening.
So, you see, I was not born with the name Jurmin. My birth name was Jennifer. Now, Jennifer is a lovely name, but not for me. So back in Nortis, this is our very common name, like Jennifer, Mary, Mariam. Yes, my next door name is Mary. So I wanted something very different, unique name. So when I was getting promoted from preparatory to preschool, I took a very bold decision at the age of 5 or 6 around to change my name. What a smart kid, right? At 5 years, taking bold decisions, thinking what a brat I was. I dare my kid try that on me. So, well, I was that adamant kid, the youngest one. So my parents gave into my idea, and the whole family one day sat for a roundtable conference to decide on a very serious topic to choose my name. So, but with one condition, the name has to start with J, like rest of my family members. So suggestions started pouring in. So Jennifer, Jury, and with some creative tongue twist, I would say tongue slip, came out Jurbin. And there, that's what I said. I want to be called a Jurmin. And there was no talking me out of it, the brat that I was. So now when I was going to this new school, I had my new identity, the new me, with the brand new version of me in my head, of course. So everything was perfect until one fateful day, a self-called expert, that one neighbor uncle we all have, the Sarmaji type, who came, oh my God, so your name doesn't have any meaning. Do you know what's the significance of a name? It's not only a name, it carries value. It installs the quality that has in your name. So without meaning, your life will be meaningless. And you see, at the age of 9, I was already having existential crisis. So the source of joy from my unique name suddenly became the worry. So to do the damage control, again, I went to my parents, but this time they had enough of me. So no changing name. They just shooed me away. So now I turn up to my lovely grandmother, like all our grandma, who is very calm, sweet, and a religious old lady who everyone turned to for her scouting for her advice. So she listened to me very carefully, and then she told me, listen there, give me some time. Let me refer to the holy book. I will find something. And then after a few days, she came back and told me, yes, there is a meaning. And when you split the name into half as Jur and Min, there is a meaning. As she was narrating, I can feel the sense of relief. I was already happy. God, my life is saved. I'm not going to be meaningless. And if you wonder what's the meaning of my name, I don't remember. And now I think I didn't even care. All it matters to me was that a validation, an affirmation from somebody else that I matter, I mean something. So as I reflect back on my younger self, I realize it's not the name that give me meaning. It's the belief, the choices I make that shape my life and define my life. So as I grew up, I hear many voices that told me, oh, being a young teenage girl, it's a very bad idea to move to a very far away city for studies. Or being a girl, you should choose HR. Or maybe it's a bad idea to take finance as a girl. But I choose for myself. I took the action. So I know that what shaped my life is the choices I make and the path I choose. So the levels, the titles, name, opinions that are given by others, that does not define you. It is the path you take, the choices you make, the action you take that define you. So next time, if somebody want to level you, remember, fellow Toastmaster, you are the protagonist of your story. Don't let anyone else level you and make you the side character of your own story. So take your own decision, choose wisely, act boldly, and don't let others define you with levels. Thank you, Toastmaster, and have a nice evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jurman. A very valid point. I don't think a name defines the actions that you carry out in the future. Fun story, my name wasn't originally going to be Akshay. There was another name that Amma had planned for me, and that was Sachin. Wasn't it Sachin? Can you imagine if my name was Sachin? Can you imagine? Good thing that I was named Akshay. I think it fits me better. Thank you once again, Toastmaster Jurman. And with that, we now transition into the era of the 1960s. Now, the emotional sensitivity of the 1960s is even more powerful when you put it against the backdrop of all the events that were taking place in India during that time. India was going through a period of conflict, scarcity, and resilience. It started off with the Indo-China War, which happened in 1962, followed by the India-Pakistan War, which happened in 1965. Food shortages led to the emergence of the first steps towards India's Green Revolution. In 1966, we got a Prime Minister by the name of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And from there, the political landscape of this country would change forever. During these times of instability and uncertainty, the music of that period gave us an emotional shelter. The music of that period gave us hope, courage, and strength at a time when we needed it the most. The song Lag Ja Gale as I was saying, the song Lag Ja Gale told us that in a time where things are uncertain, look to prioritize human connections. Because we never know how long those human connections are going to be there with us. So with that, I would now like to call upon the third speaker for today's meeting. Before that, let me introduce the third evaluator to evaluate the speech. Can we have on stage Toastmaster Vibha Vardhe?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. Today, my target speaker is Nivedita. She will be attempting her Project 3, Level 1 from Leadership, Dynamic Leadership Pathway. The purpose of the project is to focus on vocal variety and body language. Timer, please note that the timing of this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. With that, I wish my target speaker all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bright Heart Vibha. With that, let me now introduce the third speaker for today's meeting. Lata Mangeshkar, the woman who sang Lag Ja Gale, is known to be timeless, graceful, and eternal. These same adjectives can be used for our next speaker. So I'd like to welcome on stage Bright Heart Nivedita Muralidharan. Nivedita Muralidharan. Chasing growth, not perfection. Chasing growth, not perfection. Nivedita Muralidharan.
Before I begin my speech, as Akshay wanted us to sing few lines, so I'm going one decade ahead. I would be singing from the 1970s. Please excuse my lines and my voice. So, एक प्यार का नगमा है, मौजों की रवानी है, जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं, तेरी मेरी कहानी है. Thank you. How many of you have seen an elephant this big? How many of you have seen an elephant this big? How many of you have seen an elephant the size of this room? Now, Can anybody tell me where have you heard these opening lines from?
Bluff master.
Yes. So these were my opening lines from my tall tale contest. When I nominated myself for the tall tale speech contest, little did I know I would be speaking about a huge elephant, let alone huge, an elephant as huge as this entire Hustle Hub building. Good evening, fellow Bright Hearts, Toastmasters, and dear guests. Let me take you all along on a journey of my tall tale contest preparation. My Bright Hearts journey of 6 months plus has been a fascinating one. Here, I learned to pace myself. I learned poise on the stage. And also, my anxiety has come down a teeny bit when I'm on stage. But I never thought that I would be giving a humorous speech on this stage. When I nominated myself, I did wonder, was humor actually my forte? But when I floated the idea of merging my previous experience as a dentist, ma'am, I'm also a previous dentist, and of treating a giant elephant, it was met with encouragement. My mentors were actually helping me process the entire the theme of my script, and there I learned exaggeration. That is blowing something way out of proportion to meet the element or major criteria of tall tales contest. Then I realized that, let's get real, my earlier experience on the stage was either as an academician giving talks on my topics of interest or as an MC with a script ready in hand. So this was very new to me. I set about collecting my tools, and it actually encouraged my creativity, and I had to don a lot of hats for that. I actually was realizing that how much preparation goes in when actually you select or you nominate yourself for a contest. But then we had this constant connects with our mentors. And when I saw my fellow contestants all so prepared and natural in their humor, I was actually doubting myself. And I never saw a single facial muscle twitch on my mentors' faces, and it started worrying me to no end. But still, with regular practice and with all the check boxes ticked, I still had to face the biggest villain of them all. A tiny voice that is constantly there in my brain, the voice of self-doubt. Was I someone actually ready to go and do something on a stage which I'm not comfortable with? Doing gestures or actions which are very new to me? Was I confident enough to be not aware of my hands and legs each moment when delivering a speech, which I feel is very much essential if you are somebody planning to give a humorous speech? Then one fine day on a Thursday night, I called none other than the Queen of Bright Hearts. I spoke to Aru and I told her about what was bothering me. My worry that I would not live up to expectations, I would not be able to deliver a humorous speech, and also that I might let our club down. Then Arundhati told me something. Nivedita, the only thing I expect from all our club members is that they come on stage, do their best, and enjoy the process. That was sort of a light bulb moment for me in my brain. I realized it is not always about the outcome. It is not always about going and doing the best so that you achieve something. It is also about the process. Toastmasters is a platform which can be used as a place to challenge yourself. We all are comfortable in our own set ways. We all have a comfort zone. This entire process for me was something like stepping out of my comfort zone. I was going to do something which was not natural for me. And her words actually set the tone for how I started looking at speeches, contests, and experiences in general. I wanted to experience things which were new to me, and I wanted to learn things in the process. But most importantly, I wanted to enjoy myself.
That day on the stage, amidst 10 contestants who were actually very good and experienced, and me being a newbie, giving my first contest, that entire words by her actually made me enjoy the moment. And when I came out of the stage, I felt happy because I had done my best. So, fellow Bright Hearts and Toastmasters, use Toastmasters as a platform where you can challenge yourself, where you can do things which are not usually what you do. And when presented with the opportunity to challenge yourself, please do take it up. Where don't fret when you falter, but learn from those mistakes. But most importantly, learn to enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bright Heart Nivedita. I still vividly remember the lead up to the Ultimate Bluff Master. The 5 participants from Bright Hearts were so hard at work for that entire week. And trust me, I know what it's like to sometimes put yourself out there, to do something new, something you're not comfortable with. Because the chase is not for perfection, it's for growth. So well done. Let's hear for Nivedita once again. As we veered into the 1970s, there was a subtle shift in the music industry. Sure, the melodies were still there, the lyrics were still slightly the same, but what started to seep into Hindi music was a sense of optimism, a sense of togetherness, something that wasn't there in eras prior. Once again, against the backdrop of the 1970s, specifically the early 1970s, it began with the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, followed by many student protests and nationwide protests across India. It was during this time, where things were still a little bit in turmoil, that everyone was seeking for a sense of loyalty, a sense of togetherness, and a sense of friendship. And no song captivates that theme better than this special song from the 70s. दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे तोड़ेंगे हम अगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे Wow, it's so awesome how he sounds so good when there's a backing track playing. Amazing. Ye Dostati Hum Nahi Todenge by Kishore Kumar and Manna De was from the movie, what is it? It's very, all right, of course. From the movie Sholay, really captured the spirit of that time. It's a sense of optimism that radiates from this song. And the music video itself with Amitabh Bachchan and his co-star. I knew that, Mom. Thank you, though. You passed. Dharmendra and Amitabh Bachchan on a motorcycle trip, the vast open landscape surrounding them, it really gave a sense of freedom, of movement, and most importantly, of friendship. So with that, let's go ahead and now introduce the 4th evaluator for today's meeting, someone who loves his friendship and also loves his trips and journeys. Give it up for our 4th evaluator, Bright Heart Twinshu Parmar. Twinshu, 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 Twinshu.
Good evening, Bright Hearts, Toastmasters, and dear guests.
Good evening.
So we have a ritual this day. So I will sing a song. ये शाम मस्तानी मदहोश किए जाए मुझे दो कोई खींचे तेरी ओर लिए जाए. thank you, Nivi, for that inspiration. I was thinking, shall I sing a song in the stage? I remember when in my college days, in the first year, I thought every contest or every stage I will go because I never been in this stage in my whole school life. Then I sang a breathless song. That was our COVID. It was in COVID days. Then I again listened to it. I thought I should not upload it to the contest. Otherwise, people will make a laugh of me. But I did it finally without thinking. So today I will be evaluating my target speaker Somil. He is attempting level 1 of project 4, which is the pathway presentation mastery, and where he will be getting the feedback on today's delivery, and he has to apply it in the next speech. So timer, please note the timing of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And I say all the best to my target speaker, Somil. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Twinshu Parmar. My favorite part of your introduction was when you said, I didn't have the guts to sing, but then I heard Nivi sing. So now anybody can sing. Great job. Truly in the spirit of friendship. Let's now introduce our fourth speaker on stage, Bright Heart, Somil Gupta. Somil, 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 Somil. Somil Gupta, are we going to win this? Are we going to win this, Somil Gupta?
Thank you. Time was ticking, 30 minutes left. And I was thinking, are we going to win this? Good evening, dear Toastmasters and my dear guests. When I think of my college days, hackathons have been a core memory of mine. People who do not know what hackathon is, it's basically you take an idea, you build it from scratch, and you do multiple iterations, and finally you present to the world to judge it. But all of this happens in 24 to 48 hours. The best part of hackathon is that you get to learn a lot. You get to learn real world problem statements. And most importantly, with every win, you make money. And that's what we used to love. Being in college, that was the most important thing. Who even cares about learning, right? Whenever our team used to win a hackathon, and whenever I used to see that check coming to my bank account, I used to be like, la 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 la, ye paisa, nahi koi aisa, ye paisa. Well, I used to love that feeling. So it was October 2022, and I was scrolling a website called DevPost. It's a website where where companies list hackathons. There, I found a hackathon for 48 hours, $5,000 cash prize. And I'm like, well, I'm going to get rich. So, and I already imagined that my bank balance is growing and calling my dad, ki, Papa, I don't need your pocket money anymore. So we applied for the hackathon. And we knew one thing. We understood one thing. To win a hackathon, you need to have three things. First, what you are building. Why are you building? And third, how you are building. And we understood that and we knew we are going to do that. And you must be wondering, how come these guys are so confident? Well, 12 hackathons, 5 wins, 2 international wins. We knew what we were doing. We knew the framework. We understood that. $250 teams were participating in this particular hackathon. 250 teams. We knew the competition was tough. And the stakes were high. We really wanted to win this. So we decided to build something wonderful. We decided to build something which was out of the world. We decided to build a platform for developers where they can share application credentials or the settings, which are very important for the applications, without exposing them. we had the plan clear in our mind, and we decided, we brainstormed. But when we sat working on that, we realized the idea was not that straightforward. The plan was not that easy. It had its own challenges. So we did everything we could. We read documentations. We went through design docs. We went to Stack Overflow, but nothing was working. But we knew one thing, that we could do this. We have done that before, right? We could achieve this. So after breaking our head all night, having 6 black coffees, building the application from scratch, rebuilding it again, we tried everything, and finally, after putting all that effort, we were ready with our first working version. Everything was going well, and the team was so excited. I knew Team Push to Master has done it once again. Now, 1 hour left into the competition, I was analyzing, I was cross-checking the checklist, whatever we had submitted during the ideation phase. And while testing, I found our application had a bug. And it was not a small bug, it was a major one, which exposed all the secrets to the public. And on the first place, that's what we were building, right? That's what we were doing. I opened my laptop, I did everything I could. I started rewriting the stuff. I went through internet, but nothing seemed to work. Time was ticking, my heart was pounding, and I knew we lost the hackathon. And when this realization came in, I also realized, Kishore, I have to call my dad again for pocket money. We eventually lost the hackathon. And it hurts. It really hurts, because for the first time, efforts didn't matter. We put on everything and still we didn't win. But that's the beauty of hackathons. With every win, you understand what you're capable of. With every loss, it tells you what you should be working on. And in this particular hackathon, we understood that we should be working on we should be more humble, because we were so confident that our framework works. We were so confident about it. But in reality, our framework needed an upgrade. And that's a learning that I've also taken in my life. Whenever I win, maybe it's a small win, it's a big win, I try to calm myself down. Okay, Somil, chill, relax. You may have won this time, but for the next time when you're winning, the scenarios may be different, challenges may be different. So the best way is just to keep your head down, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brightheart Somal, for sharing that story. A very relevant story, not just to hackathons, but to life, right? Because in life, you're never going to always succeed. You're always going to go through failures. But that is the beauty of going through those ups and downs. It's when you go down, you can really soar back up again. So all the best for your next hackathon. So with that, we continue our talk about the 1970s. And this is when we had a groove revolution. Now, it was during this time that music started to sound a little different, a little edgy. It was during this period that the influence of the Western world, of Europe, of everything around India started to seep into our music. It started to sound more edgy, more international. There were influences with electric guitars, funk rhythms, psychedelic music, and Western experimentation. The one man who stood at the forefront of this music revolution was a man named R.D. Burman, a composer who pushed the boundaries of Indian music. It was thanks to his music that an entire generation of Indians got fascinated with a new kind of music, counterculture music. Music that defies the culture that they are born in. Think I'm kidding? Listen to this. Dam by Asha Bhosle was a song that transcended any kind of music we had heard about up until that point. It was youthful, it was edgy, it was international, and it gave everyone the idea that counterculture music is kind of cool. With that, the groove revolution began. Let me now introduce the fifth evaluator for today's meeting. Can we have on stage Brightheart Aditya Patnaik?
Okay. Good evening, Bright Hearts. Before I introduce my speech objectives, I would like to ask Sir, Ma'am, a question. Sir, when was the last time you sang a song for Ma'am?
Sing every day.
I'll tell you why I asked that question. So 2 days back, I was stuck in a traffic jam, and my wife was along with me in the car. And the VP head of our club, he dropped the agenda in the WhatsApp group. And then she started saying that, the agenda for this meeting is Safar Sangeet and Toastmaster Akshay is the TMOD. And then she looked at me and said, "It's been 2 years, you have not sung a romantic song for me." So in my head, damn you, Akshay, I'm just TMOD. But then I kept my composure. And then I sang a song which made it even worse. मेरे सामने वाले खिड़की में एक चांद सा टुकड़ा रहता है. Yes, it was a self-slap moment. So she said 2 things. First, if you ever sing this in the society, you'll be known as a creepy uncle. And the second thing, don't come home today. All right. Moving on to my evaluation segment. So today, my target speaker shall be attempting level 1 of the project, which is aimed at evaluation and feedback. And the purpose of this project is for the speaker to incorporate feedback from the previous speech and make sure that the next speech that they give is perfect and based on the previous feedback that they have got. Timer, please note, 5 to 7 minutes is the length of the speech. With that, all the best to my target speaker and back to the team order.
Thank you. All right, without any further ado, let's introduce the fifth speaker for today's speech marathon, Toastmaster Priyansh Tripathi. Priyansh Tripathi. Memories. Memories, Priyansh Tripathi.
Can I get a raise of hands? How many of you have ever gone on a trip with friends? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Let me take you on a roller coaster ride. My trip to Sikkim with my friends. The journey full of unexpected moments, unexpected twists, and memories that will last lifetime. Our journey began from Banaras with blessings of Lord Kashi Vishwanath. I prayed for safe journey. In the hindsight, I should have prayed for, "Oh God, give us adventure, but not the kind that requires ambulance." On a train, half of the group started preparing sightseeing list, while the other half started preparing side drinking list. Priorities matter. By the time we reached Siliguri, both the lists were ready. But our adventure began early. Our cab was delayed by 3 hours in a 40-degree heat. Soon we decided to eat food. Then my friend Shitish declared, "Bro, we'll have Maggie in a mountain with a view." I told him, "Shitish, mountains can wait. Right now, My stomach is the only hill I need to conquer. We argued for some time, then settled on juice. So imagine 7 boys in a blazing afternoon heat, sipping watermelon juice like a princess at the spa. Soon as we started feeling refreshed, third, one of my friend fainted. Heat stroke. We revived him with electrol. 15 minutes later, third, again, same guy. At this point, we were not sure. We were on a trip to Sikkim or on a rescue mission. By night, we reached Sikkim. Naturally, the first stop would be the restaurant. But no, one of my friends shouted, "Bro, let's grab the drink and start the party." And suddenly, democracy ended. Everyone agreed. Back at the hotel, the party started. Music, laughter, drinks until 1 a.m. when a dramatic cry echoed through the corridor. Bro, she left me. One of my friends had called his ex. We rushed towards him, consolidated him that it's okay, bro, it happens. We snatched his phone and tucked him into bed. That night felt less like a trip with friends and more like a babysitting. Babysitting with whiskey bread. But next morning was magical. We opened our window and froze. Not because of the cold, but because of the view. Snow-capped mountains, sparkling river flowing by. Seems like God switched on the Earth's HD version. But the real adventure was at 0 point, 16,000 feet high. We had a first snow fight there. Within minutes, we were throwing snowballs at each other like kids. But let me warn. Snow fight at 16,000 feet lasts exactly 15 minutes. After that, we were not fighting. We were gasping for oxygen like retired uncles. But every breathless laugh was worth it. The return journey, though, straight from a Bollywood movie. One of my friends sniffed in air. "Bro, I smell smoke." The other guy shouted from behind, "There's a fire in the car, run!" We jumped out of a car like extras in the Salman Khan movie, running in slow motion, waiting for the car to explode. Still waiting for the car to explode. The car never exploded. It just sat down there, quietly smoking. And like magic, there was a chai shop on roadside. The shopkeeper offered us tea and food and said, "You can wait there while your car gets repaired." That time, that shopkeeper didn't feel like he's the owner of the shop. He felt like a guardian angel of the mountain. But the test continued. First, a fallen tree blocked the road, then a fog casually strolled across as if it owns a highway. Then, boom! We thought that there's a puncture in a car, but turns out 4 out of 5 nuts of a rear wheel vehicle car were missing. The tire was wobbling left, right, like it's a Dawn's audition. We looked at each other and silently said, "If we survive this trip, we are never booking this cab driver again." Soon the trip ended. As I was packing my bag, I realized travel is not always perfect. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you struggle, sometimes you click photographs, and sometimes you push the car. But that's the beauty of traveling with friends, because it's not just about having fun, it's about coming close to each other, taking care of each other, not just making memories, but consolidating friendship. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Priyansh, for that wonderful story about a trip that sounded less like a trip and more like Final Destination. So with that, we've gone through a lot of singers, we've gone through a lot of eras so far, from the 1950s to the 1970s. But one thing I failed to talk about was the aura these singers have. Back then, every singer had a cult following of their own, so much so that when a college student tuned into a song, they could recognize the song just by the person singing it. Every single legendary singer of that time, be it Asha Bhosle, be it Mukesh, be it Kishore Kumar, all of them had legendary followings of their own. So today, we're going to have a small activity to see how much we know about all of the legendary Hindi singers between the 1950s and 1990s. I would like to start by having 10 people on this side of the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nivi, could you please come up to the front and distribute these 10 photos at random to 10 people at the back? Sangam, could you come up front here? Could you distribute these 10 names to 10 people at the back completely randomly? And finally, Somil, can you come here? Could you distribute these song names to 10 people randomly? There's a small chance that somebody may not be able to participate in this game. Small chance, but let's hope we try to get everyone. One per person, one per person. Either you cannot get multiple, either you get a picture, an artist's name, or a song, nothing else. How many do you have left? Let's give it to them as well. Anyone who hasn't gotten one yet? Has everyone got? Is it perfect? No way. Everyone, every single person's got something? Everyone's got one piece of paper, correct? Yes. Okay. Who doesn't have a piece of paper? Raise your hand. Okay. Raise your hand if you don't have a piece of paper. You do, right? I gave it to. All right. Everyone's got one? I have. Okay, the 10 people who got photos, can you raise your hands? Photos. All right, the 10 people who got names of songwriters, can you raise your hands? The 10 people who got names of songs, can you write your hands? The 10 people who don't know what they have gotten, can you? Okay, so everyone knows. All right, so the game is very simple. What I want you to do is, I want you all to find your corresponding details. By the end of it, you have to find the two partners in your team which will complete the face, the name, and the song. Use your phone if you need the information. Shout out the names. Your time starts now. You've got 2 minutes. Stand together, your team. Stand together. Well, wasn't that lovely? Everyone got to move around a little bit, make some friends, have some fun. But let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. We are almost done with the speech marathon. May I now present on stage the sixth evaluator? Can I have on stage Toastmaster Wasim Fazil?
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. First of all, thank you, Akshay. Growing up in Tamil Nadu, I didn't know Mukesh Kumar, Dev Anand. I got to know everyone. So, before going to my objectives, in the spirit of the meeting, when Akshay asked what's one song I remember from my childhood, so the song that came to my mind was Chaya Chaya in the 1990s, specifically because I'm not sure how many of you grew up in a joint family setup. Okay, some of you could relate to. So we grew up in a joint family setup, and then my cousin sister was the closest, and I would have heard the song like nearly 100 times. It's like we had some small event in our community, and she wants us to dance for this thing. So she would play and guide us. She will do all the steps properly. Me and my brother in the back again will be like all kuttu steps. And that day, she didn't knew how to lead us, and she would always end up scratching her head and sitting. I wish she was a Toastmaster. So, because our next speaker is going to speak about leadership styles, and she will be taking on level 2 project 1. The purpose of this speech is to identify their primary leadership style and share about that to the audience. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. With that, all the best to our next speaker, Pooja Barik. Back to you, Akshay.
Thank you so much. Without further ado, let's now introduce our sixth speaker on stage. Can we have on stage Right Heart Pooja Barik? Pooja. 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 Pooja Barik. The right words, the wrong time. The right words, the wrong time. Toastmaster Pooja Barik.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guest. Let me start with asking you all a question. Have you ever felt words that burn your tongue? Words you knew were true, but saying them would cost you someone you love. Any raise of hands from the audience? I have been there twice. Once when I said the words and burnt my tongue. Another time when I didn't say a word. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to share with you two stories. So my first story, 2 years back, my friend Priya, she was in love with someone who was emotionally intense but practically absent. He showed strong personality at the beginning, big emotions, dramatic affection, sweeping promises. But when Priya leaned in, he leaned out. He would disappear for days and reappear when it suited him. He would change plans at the last moment. And when Priya raised her concerns, he would say, "You're overreacting." Everybody could see the imbalance, except for Priya. One day, Priya comes to me and says, "I am moving in with her." I couldn't hold back. I had to say this. "Priya, don't do that. He's a wrong guy for you. You deserve better." Immediately, I laid out facts clearly and confidently. As I was arguing a case in court. I was assertive, I was logical, and I was absolutely certain that I was right. 2 months later, Priya moved in with him anyway. She stopped talking to me. Not because I was wrong, but because when she saw me, it reminded her of a mistake. Wondering what mistake? Her relationship had collapsed within a year. That day, my assertive leadership style was in action. I won the argument, but I lost my friendship. Fast forward 2 years to the second story. My gym friend, Kavya. One evening at around 9 p.m., she calls me. Can I come over? I need to talk to you. Before I could even respond, she was sitting in the couch saying, Pooja, I think I'm going to get married to Rahul. What? Rahul? You barely know him, Kavya. It's just 3 months you know him. On the surface, Rahul is a charming, handsome boy. His presence was unpredictable. He would just not be on time, ditched her many times, would just ignore her whenever she wanted. I couldn't hold back again. I wanted to tell this. But then I remembered Kavya. I remembered Priya, how she stopped talking to me. So this time, instead of telling her what to do, I asked Kavya, tell me, why do you want to marry him? She said, he's so romantic, he's so cute, everybody else is getting married. I am tired of being alone. I had to ask, what about those things which bothers you about him? She says, nothing about it. She went numb. Kavya, you are one of the strongest persons I know. Right now, you are giving less than what you deserve. But it's your life and your decisions. To which Kavya whispered, I don't want to end up alone. So what? So what if you're alone? Being alone with someone who respect is more important. A few days later, Kavya texted me saying, thank you. Thank you for letting me understand what I truly wanted. So here's my take on two stories. The first, with Priya, I led with certainty and I lost my friendship. With Kavya, I led with curiosity and I let her lead by herself. Recently, I took this test of leadership assessment where I realized my leadership dominant style is democratic with a touch of bureaucratic. That means I ask questions, I listen, and I unanimously decide. I learned leadership is not about having a loudest voice in the room. It is about using the right words even we are in the wrong time. So here I leave you all with a question. As leaders, will you give that answer to the other people or leave space for others to decide for you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Friendships are complicated. This is why guys just don't talk. Keeps things really simple. Now let's move on to the 1980s. Now this was the period that saw the rise of disco. It was during the 1980s that the Western imprint started to be felt more so than ever. And no song brings about feels of this decade more than this one. Arna, is it the first time I've heard this song? Okay. Composed by Bappi Lahiri, I Am a Disco Dancer is one of the most iconic and prolific songs of that era. Groovy, great beats, great visuals of Midun Chakraborty. And truly one of the most iconic songs of that generation. And this generation as a whole got to see a lot of disco music. With that, let's now introduce the penultimate speech evaluator for today's speech marathon. Can we have on stage Right Heart, Anna Gupta? Anna, 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 Anna.
Who here has seen the recent movie Dhurandhar? I was mesmerized by the movie. I usually don't like movies with a lot of violence, but Bollywood recently came up with a movie that had a lot of heart and story behind the whole plot. But one thing that stuck with me was the song. Main nachu, tum nacho. मैं नाचूं तुम नाचो जितनी भी प्यार से जिंदगी so I don't know the exact lines but the feelings stick, and that is one thing that I will always appreciate about the music from the 1950s to the 1990s. Coming to the speaker for today, I will be evaluating Toastmaster Sneha Masalkar. She will be attempting her level 2 project 3, which is on Toastmaster mentorship. The purpose of this project is to firstly clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentorship, and secondly, share an experience of her as a protege anywhere in her life. Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And with that, I'll hand the stage back to Akshat.
Can we have on stage our 7th speaker for today, Bright Heart, Sneha Masalkar? Sneha, 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 Sneha. Sneha Masalkar. Because someone believed in me. Because someone believed in me, Sneha Masalkar.
Thank you. Have you ever had someone believe in you more than you believed in yourself? I have. There were different times when there were people who suddenly believed in me and I had no clue why. It took me some understanding to understand that they saw something in me which I did not believe at that time. Just can't recollect. Can you just see my notes? Um, Interestingly, these people came into my life at different junctures. One, when I was a shy student back in school, and another was when I was an adult, like Toastmaster, learning to tell my story. Today, I want to talk about the mentors who shaped my confidence in quiet but powerful ways. The first mentor was a teacher back in school. This was Paryal ma'am. I was a very shy student, somebody who was really quiet, who just avoided any eye contact. I could not even raise my hand to speak. I did not believe I had anything special in me. I did not believe that my ideas were anything worth saying aloud. One day, when I was in class 6, I submitted an essay. So, this essay was not something significant, it was a normal submission. And my teacher, however, Paryal ma'am, she did something different for me. She gave me an experience which I had never had before. While distributing the answer sheets, she stopped at my answer sheet and she told me, Sneha, you are a very good writer. That was it. This was one sentence, but it was totally new for me. No teacher had ever given me this kind of a support. No teacher had told me that I was good at something. And soon after that, there was this inter-school essay competition where she sent me along with a classmate of mine. This was huge for me because I was representing my school. That was a huge high for me. She did not relent after that. She once came up to me and she told me, Sneha, we have a science exhibition coming up. Would you like to be one of our presenters? And I told her, yes, I would like to be a presenter. This was me, a shy girl. And I went on to do the science exhibition and I gave it my all. I gave demo after demo. I gave explanation after explanation to everyone. And all the students, teachers, parents who came, I was at my best. And I think I did really well. Each of these moments, I believe, they were moments that in my own eyes changed how I saw myself. She did not try to change me. Instead, she gave me opportunities to grow. So this was what was important for me. And she was a true mentor because she recognized that I had certain talents and then she gave me opportunities to grow. After that, what I did is I took her guidance to heart and I always consciously look for opportunities where I can get out of my comfort zone. I can do something different. So one of those things is definitely enrolling myself in Toastmasters. So I met my second mentor in Toastmasters. He was in Bangalore Toastmasters Club. His name is Robinson Sir. So Robinson Sir was someone whom I really look up to. He's a very senior Toastmaster. One day I was preparing my speech and I had written a draft. I wrote this draft with very big words, very fancy words, and very enthralling kind of dramatic explanations. When I presented this to Robinson Sir, he listened and he listened very patiently. And he said, Sneha, don't use big words. Tell your story in simple words, words that you are comfortable to use. So I took this to heart and I was surprised because every time, whenever there are speeches, you would think that a good speech uses over complicated words, but that's not really the case. Another time, I was giving a speech on how I lost 7 kgs in 1 year. So he gave me another powerful advice. He told me, don't tell them, show them. So, uh, while talking about my transformation journey, I did not just use words. I showed them. I used a very different approach. What I did was on the projector, I put up my picture. And this picture was when I was heavier. And I told them, do you know who this is? And I took a pause and then I stepped on stage and I said, that's me. In that moment, there was no need for any long explanations. This picture had done the talking for me. This picture had established the context, and then I went on with my speech. This was a hack that changed how I viewed communication after that. Robinson Sir taught me a lot of things. He taught me that clarity is more powerful than complexity. He taught me that authenticity connects more than perfection. He went on to give me amazing gems of advice after that, and which I dearly treasure and I still apply in my life, and they helped me immensely. These two mentors, they taught me similar things, but in different ways. Pariyal ma'am taught me that she gave me the confidence basically to a shy student, and this was and she taught me that anybody could be taught if given the right guidance and the right push. And on the other hand, Robinson Sir, he simplified my communication and helped me grow. So both of them, they did not try to dominate me or try to control my journey. They just guided me, they helped me learn, and they trusted me to figure it out on my own. So I try to do the same with people that I know. And my journey with mentors did not just stop there. I learned from everyone around me. Um, in my personal and professional life, I have, in the form of mentors, many of my relatives, colleagues, bosses, etc., who have helped me grow immensely. And of course, here at Bright Hearts Toastmasters, I'm blessed to have very good mentors. So Akshay, he has helped me almost like a life coach. He helps me come out of my shell. He always tells me to socialize. Arundhati, on the other hand, I learned that calmness and structure are real strengths. Money helps me understand that the real abundance is by being kind and patient with others. They have each added a layer to who I am today. When I look back, I realize that mentors don't always come with very dramatic speeches or amazing life advice suddenly. They might just come with a small encouraging sentence. They might just come with like a small honest advice, or they might have like a suggestion that can change your entire life. I have turned into who I am because of people who believed in me more than I believed in myself. And that is why mentorship matters. So at any time, all you require is just one person who tells you, I see you and you can do this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sneha. I couldn't agree more. If you really want to succeed in life, it's so important to find a great mentor, whether at work, at Toastmasters. Really helps a lot. And with that, we have reached the 90s, I think. Can you? No. Could you help by just pressing the button? Oh, wow.
Really like that.
Okay, while the slides are loading up, let me not waste any time and let me go ahead and introduce the evaluator for the final speaker. And that is Madhur, who's going to be delivering his speech online. In order to evaluate his speech, can I have on stage Toastmaster Devsha Patnaik?
होश वालों को खबर क्या, होश वालों को खबर क्या, बेखुदी क्या चीज है। इश्क कीजिए, इश्क कीजिए, फिर समझिए जिंदगी क्या चीज। Well, 80s was the golden era for ghazals, and I think Jagjit Singh and Chitra Singh kept it on their shoulders. If some of you would have attended, I was lucky enough to attend Jagjit Singh's ghazal, where in the cold winter night, sitting out there watching him on stage with instrument, he is sitting and silently singing his song. That feeling, and also knowing that only middle class can go and afford it, right? But my question to all of you guys now, how many of you have listened to ghazals lately? Few, right? It is getting lost. Ghazals are nothing but poetry and couplets. And I would request you and urge you to go back and remember those days where melody, poetry, couplets were part of our playlist, not just only Dhoom Dhadaka music that is coming up right now. Now, coming to my speaker, he is going to give a lot of poetry and lot of couplets in his coming speeches. And of course, his project objective is to understand different types of persuasive speeches and then persuade you at the end with his language of KISS. But to the audience, I would say that's the concept called ethos, pathos, and logos. So you can kind of search it while the speaker comes and presents that thing on the stage. With that, over to you, Akshay.
Slide number 30. And with that, we finally reach to the 90s. And the 90s was dominated by one theme and one theme only, and that is romance. With the advent... Yes. Check. Okay. With the advent of cassettes and satellite TV, Bollywood properties, films, music started to propagate more than ever. And here are just a few quick popular songs. If you could open up the slides again. Could you open up slide number 30? All right, thank you.
देखा तो ये जाना सनम प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम मुझे देखा तो ये जाना आजा रे यूं ही तड़पाना तू मुझको जान रे
Ah, what a time it was to be in the 90s. Let's welcome our final speaker for the day, Bright Heart, Madhur Patle. Madhur. Sorry. Madhur Patle. Brightland believes in KISS. Brightland believes in KISS. Madhur Patle.
Before I begin, let me check. Am I clearly audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you.
We are checking on the...
I want to start with a confession. When I was preparing for this speech, I was told one thing very clearly. Madhur, you need to kiss. For a second, I thought this meeting going to be something interesting. But later, it was explained to me Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. So today, keeping it simple, I want every one of you to imagine something. So may I have your eyes close? All of you, close your eyes. And imagine a land far from here, away from all the deadlines, all the notification, and all the tasks that you have to do tomorrow on Monday morning, just like a fairy tale that we used to imagine as a kid. A land where things aren't perfect, but they just works. Welcome to Bright Land. In Bright Land, everyone lives by one single rule. Kiss. Now you can open your eyes. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. Today, I want to persuade you one simple thing. Strong communities are built by a small commitment done consistently. And for that, I want all of you to meet three people from Brightland. But before that, let me tell you something about myself. When I joined this community, I wasn't confident. I wasn't outspoken. And honestly, I didn't know where do I exactly fit. So I didn't try to be the best or be the most visible. I just practiced one small thing: show up whenever I can and as much as I can. And slowly, conversations started happening, and I enjoyed the conversation, unlike before. And learning flowed. That's when I realized communities don't grow suddenly, they grow quietly through small actions that exactly happened in Brightland. And help me meet you, the first person from Brightland, regular Ravi. Ravi is famous for exactly one thing: he shows up. If there is meeting, Ravi is there. If it is rescheduled, Ravi is still there. And if it is cancelled, Ravi asks why it is cancelled. Preparation, however, is optional, but here's the truth: nothing grows unless someone shows up. So, Ravi, remind us, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. Now, I want all of you to meet second person from Brightland, friendly Farah. Farah genuinely likes people. She likes interacting to people, and when someone is talking to her, she actually listens. And her feedback doesn't scare people, it makes them think, okay, maybe I belong here. And that matters because people don't stay where they feel invisible. Farah reminds us people stay where they feel seen. And finally, I want all of you to meet the third person from Brightland, Mr. Quality Kumar. Kumar believes in structure. He reads instruction before starting the task. He cares about timing, standards, and doing things right. Not because he loves rule, but because he knows what happens without them. Without standards, effort become chaos. So remind us without uh, Kumar remind us caring also means doing things well. One day in Brightland, all the three started arguing. Ravi, showing up is everything. Farah, no, people matter more than their attendance. Kumar, without structure, learning cannot happen. I was tired of listening to this debate and watching them. One thing is very clear: none of them were wrong, but all of them were not correct alone. And this is why KISS works in practice, because it doesn't ask you to become someone else or someone who is perfect. It simply asks you to have a small thing consistently, a small commitment consistently. So Brightline doesn't survive because of Ravi, Farah, or Kumar alone. Brightline survive because all three exist together. Ravi brings people in, Farah make them feel at home, and Kumar make sure the place is worth staying in. And this is just Brightland's story. And it actually how life feels. So here's a little song as per our ritual. मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया. Just like this song. So when someone tells you, Madhur, you need to kiss, now I stop and I know what it actually means. Keep it simple, stupid. And that is what I want to persuade you today.
मैं कुछ गलत तो क्या बोल रहा हूँ? हाँ.
Am I audible? Hello. Show up even when you're not fully ready. Talk to someone, especially when someone is new, and care about quality even when it is easy to ignore, because communities don't grow from talent alone. They grow from different people, different bring different strength. And that's how Brightline survive. And it is so beautiful, as if we imagine a fairy tale when we were kid. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bright Heart Madhur. With that, we come to the end of the speech marathon. We come to the end. Right. So we come to the end of the speech marathon, and I just want to end by saying this. When it comes to Hindi music, it's not just the songs, it's about the emotions they made us feel. As we went through all of the different generations, we saw what each era reflected in its music. 1950s was all about idealism. 1960s was all about togetherness. Came in the 1970s. 1960 was about personal connections. 1970s was about togetherness and friendship. The 1980s was when we started experimenting with the groove revolution and with disco fever. And the 1990s, well, the 1990s were all about romance. This is one of the movies I saw growing up in the 90s. It's a movie called Yes Boss. The song is Main Koi Aisa Geet Gao. And of course, being a 90s kid, any man knows this song. In fact, I'm sure Adna, even you've heard the song. But since we all have to sing a song, I think I'm going to do my part as well. And I'm going to do it for the one person I actually crafted this entire meeting for. Can I have my dad on stage to help me sing this next song? Oh, we'll have to see the phone.
मैं कोई ऐसा गीत गाऊं कि आरज़ू जगाऊं, मैं कोई ऐसा गीत गाऊं कि आरज़ू जगाऊं, अगर तुम कहो. मैं कोई ऐसा गीत गाऊं कि आरज़ू जगाऊं, अगर तुम कहो ऐसा गीत गाओ के आरज़ू जगाओ अगर तुम कहो तुमको बुलाऊं ये पल के बिछाऊं कदम तुम जहां जहां रखो जमी को आसमां बनाओ सितारों से सजाओ अगर तुम कहो मैं कोई ऐसा गीत गाऊं के आरज़ू जगाओ अगर तुम कहो Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Omen. Thank you so much for that wonderful performance. Requesting everyone to take out your phones. It's bit.ly/BHTM vote 1. Let's provide our votes for the best speaker, and also let's be sure to provide feedback for all of the 8 speakers. Once again, the link for all guests and for all members is bit.ly/BHTM vote 1. It's a fairly long form, so give yourself a good 90 seconds to fill in your feedback for all of the speakers, starting with speaker number 1, Ninad Deshpande, speaker 2, Jurmin, speaker 3, Nivedita, speaker 4, Somal, speaker 5, Priyansh, speaker 6, Pooja, speaker 7, Sneha Maselkar, and speaker 8, Madhur. Hold on, there appears to be, let's hold off on the votes for just a moment.
Come in next.
See, इधर से इधर जा रहा है the next one is पहले तरफ जा रहा है
Sai, should we need time? Shall we break and then call them for votes later?
Yes.
All right, so we have a small technical glitch with the votes. So what we'll do is we are going to break for 12 to 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and we will come back and continue with the voting. So requesting everyone to please step outside, grab some chai, grab some biscuits, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you. One, this is for members and guests. Please open up this URL and provide your feedback, your succinct feedback for all of the 8 speakers. If anyone is facing any issue with the URL, please let me know.
And for 3 speakers.
Folks, the magic number is 17. We're looking for at least 17 votes. Please, please, please. Punch in your votes. Sergeant at Arms, how many votes do we have? Ipsha? 3 votes? Okay. Folks, we're at 8 votes. We need another 9 at the very least in order to proceed to the next section. I say, how many votes do we have? 13. 13? Looking for another 4 more votes? 4 more votes? Let's see, at least 5 people on their phones, so hopefully we should get this.
16.
Yeah. Let me know once I get 7. Diksha? 16. 16. We're still at 16 votes. We need 1 more vote at least. All right, with that, let me welcome the first speech evaluator onto the stage. Can we have Bright Heart Varun Mangamuri?
Okay, let's start right ahead. Ninath, congratulations, Ninath. You have successfully completed your first icebreaker speech with full of confidence and humor, I would say. And you have also met your project's purpose of introducing yourself to the club. Now, coming to the highlights of your speech, your stage presence is very good, actually. For instance, you're maintaining eye contact with the audience and also using hand gestures properly whenever needed. And as mentioned, your humor is also very good, especially when you told that while being Ninath, you thought waiting list 25 is window seat of train. A minor nitpick I have is for you. In your speech, you have told us just one aspect of your life. What is being Ninath after coming to Bangalore? Like he goes to office to home. That's the only thing he has done for entire year. And yeah, thinking of waiting list 25 is window seat. But what is being Ninath before coming to Bangalore? This is something we would like to see as part of your speech. In summary, your stage presence is great, your humor is great, and if you structure your speech in a better way, you can take your speech to the next level. All the best. Looking forward to your next speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varun, for that evaluation. To evaluate Jurmin Ahmed, can we have online Toastmaster Sumit Ranjan? Priyansh, if you could just help us set up the audio for Sumit. Meanwhile, Sumit.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
You're there.
Can everyone hear me?
Sumit, could you give us?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you, Akshay. German, thank you for sharing a very personal and meaningful story with us today. The purpose of the project to present a speech with clearly defined purpose and well organized structure. You achieved it very well. Your inspirational purpose, that is our choices and not our names or labels, define us. It came through very clearly, especially in the second half of your speech, followed by a very strong conclusion. One of your key strengths was your use of personal storytelling. The journey from changing your name as a child to experiencing doubt and finally to self realization. It created a natural and engaging flow. The story supported your message beautifully and helped the audience connect emotionally with your purpose. The speech was also logically organized. The opening question about names drew us in, the story built the context, and the conclusion clearly reinforced the takeaway. And one suggestion for improvement would be maybe you can signal your purpose a little bit earlier in the speech. Maybe a brief line connecting your name story to the idea of labels or identity sooner would help the audience connect with the message earlier and follow the journey more easily. Overall, this was a well structured and impactful speech that clearly met the objectives of writing a speech with purpose. And I look forward to seeing you for more speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumit. May I now have our third evaluator, Toastmaster Vibha, to present her evaluation for Toastmaster Nivedita. Vibha.
Viva, 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 viva.
रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बाहर के. Good evening, everyone, again.
Good evening.
I chose this song because it reflects Nivedita's journey in today's speech, where a journey that begins with self-doubt and grew with the support of mentors and ended with the courage to step in the tall tale contest and experiencing it with happily. So talking about your highlights, Nivedita, your speech had a good structure where you had introduction, body, and conclusion. In introduction, you already hooked the audience through your introduction, and in the body you very well explained, and it was linked to the introduction, and in conclusion you have given a good message that we should enjoy the process and not chasing for the perfection. And the second highlight from your speech, I feel, is your pace and volume. So you were quite audible at the back, and your pace was good, that the audience could grasp the zest of what you are saying. And now when I talk about your areas of improvement, I feel your pitch could have been high or low as per your script. For example, when you mentioned about a scenario with Arundhati, when you called her and you mentioned that I'm not feeling it, and you are very anxious about it. So you could have shown some anxiety over on a call and show some fear that you want to step out from it. Something like that you could have shown with your pitch also. Second, areas of improvement would be that most of you were standing at the middle of the stage. As I mentioned, you had a great speech structure where you could have divided the stage in 3 parts, where you go to the left corner of the stage when you mention about the introduction, then goes to the center for describing about your body of the speech, and the conclusion at the right. So yeah, to conclude your speech, your pace was good, you were audible well at the back, and you had a great structure to your speech. And when I talk about areas of improvement, you can include in your next speech that you can work on the pitch and use the stage coverings more. Yeah, looking forward to your future speeches. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brightheart. Vibha, and with that, let's have our fourth evaluator come on stage to evaluate Toastmaster Somil. Can we have Toastmaster Twinshu Parmar? Twinshu, 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 Twinshu.
Thank you. Hello, Papa. I don't want pocket money anymore. I wish I had the same confidence at my time. But Somil, your speech was very relatable to me. When I attended the Smart India Hackathon, you had two motives of attending this SIH, I mean the hackathons. The first one was money, and the second one was learning. In my case, it was three. The last one was I get to visit new places and explore with my friends as well. So in terms of the highlights, which I observed was the content. When you said the first thing, time was ticking. We all were hooked at that time. What is going to happen next? And the structure that you had with when you explained what exactly hackathon is, what dev post is, because most of us are not aware of dev post, and some of us might be aware of hackathon as well. So yeah, you worked very well on that part. You selected problem statement, and then you worked, and how that last moment bug haunted you, and you said other things. So the structure wise, it was good. The second point was humor. The thing I mentioned before, that I called my dad and I don't want pocket money anymore. I appreciate that as putting in your serious speech. It was mostly suspense and seriousness was there. So with that intensity of 6 black coffee, it was the humor part. I appreciate you put it there. The third was body language. Throughout the speech, you had open body language like this. Your palms was into the place, and it impacted the story, and it added somewhat good thing. The second is your 2 international wins, how you showed it like this. And the tough competition was also the point where I observed the great usage of body language. The area of improvements, I think so, is in terms of content. I would like to see if you circle back when you said time was ticking. If we could say, so next time when you face a challenge, put your hands down. The time is ticking. You have to get the framework as you have just 1 hour left. Give your 100% and get the thing done and win by giving you 100%. Somewhat like this. The second is stage usage. I felt you had a great stage usage as well. Like you started from here, then you went around the right side of the stage. The one thing that I can think of where this could be used is when you said how, what, and why about the promise statement. So if there was a 3 steps. So how, what, and why. So we could we could see what exactly 3 steps were. The third is vocal variety was there, but in terms of when the script or story was in the low moment, we could say lower the voice so that it adds the impact. For example, let's say it was 1 hour left. We got a major critical bug. Time was ticking. Heart was pounding. But we have lost like this. To summarize, you had great content. The structure-wise, I liked it, and the humor was onto the place with that with the seriousness of the speech. That you put the kudos for that, and the body language was also onto the mark. And the areas of improvement, I think so, that would make your speech good to best would be the content. If you circle back, it is a different. It adds different charm to the story, and the stage usage. The more purposeful stage movement would also be the best one if you could work on that, and the vocal variety like lowering and pausing wherever needed. So all the best for your future speeches. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bright Heart Twins Shoe, to evaluate our fifth, or rather to bring in our fifth evaluator for the day to evaluate Toastmaster Priyansh. Can we have Bright Heart Aditya Patnaik on stage? Adi, 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 Adi.
Good evening, Bright Hearts. So today my target speaker started giving me a heart attack when he started speaking about his friends and how every event of his journey became a cliffhanger. So Toastmaster Priyank, today I would like to give you a gold medal. First, for tolerating your set of friends. Second, for coming here and articulating what actually took us back to the memory lane when we used to spend time with our friends. So I'll divide my evaluation into 3 parts. One, what you did well. Second, what you could have done well. And third, overall suggestions. When it comes to what really went well in your speech, the first was his stage presence. He was literally doing jumping squats, right about explaining like how people jumped out of the car like Salman Khan's extras. Although it was, I think, Ajay Devgan, not Salman Khan. In Bollywood, people jump out of Ajay Devgan's van. The second was your ample confidence while articulating all the incidents about your friends, about how you did babysitting, about the Maggie that was asked while looking at the scenic view. So I think kudos to that. The third was you brought about humor in a very nice way. You used analogies. Like for example, like the example of people jumping out of the car, or let's say, oh God, it gave us heart attacks, right? And the fourth thing that you really did well was voice modulation. I think that was really well structured in your speech. Couple of areas that you might want to work on is you always stand at the stage holding your hands cupped in this fashion. It indicates some sort of stiff body posture. So maybe you can free up your hands a bit. So one is that. The second thing is about your content structure. So I assume that you would come onto the stage maintaining some sort of curiosity while building up the story. You gave it all out. You could have structured it like day 1, day 2, day 3, or maybe give some sort of introduction and then moved on to body and then conclusion. In your body, you could have thrown up examples of what your friends did. Introduction could have been how you planned the trip, and then you went onto the trip and something happened on the way or something like that. Somebody vomited, or people started crying out loud right in the middle of the car journey, or your car broke down, etc. Right? You could have structured that. The third one would be some sort of call to action for the audience. Here I felt that there was some sort of summary or conclusion missing. You could have said, okay, right now just start planning a trip with your friends. I think all of you should just go out there and enjoy your lives, or something of that sort, right? So overall, great stage presence, great confidence while articulation. One minor nitpick and challenge could be when you are using your expressions, sometimes your body language and your expression isn't in sync. Like for example, oh God, instead of adventure, it gave us heart attacks. So your
your tonality over there or your way of expression was a bit flat. Heart attack shouldn't be happiness. Heart attack should be like, how Nivedita treats her patients or something like that. So heart attack is a shock. It's not happiness. So maybe just as a challenge, I would like to keep that under observation, right? So overall, great structure, great tonality, great presence on stage. 3 things to improve on: stiff body language, call to action, and overall content structure, and you'll do great. You achieved your speech objectives and you incorporated the feedback of voice modulation from your previous feedback as well. So all the best to you. Back to the team order.
Thank you so much, Bright Heart Aditya. Can we now have on stage the 6th evaluator, Toastmaster Wasim? Wasim.
Wasim, 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 Wasim.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. One thing I learned today is if Pooja gives me advice, I am not ignoring it. Pooja, what I really liked about your speech today was the vivid descriptions that you had. Now I know Priya, now I know Kavya, now I even know Rahul. The thing is, it's not just the names, right? I know what was the question or the thing that Kavya was thinking. Will I be left alone? That brought the characters more to life. The second thing I liked was the gestures that you had. You could have simply said, he appeared, he disappeared. But you added these small things. He appeared, he disappeared, which really brought the speech live. And the third one that I liked was your enactment pieces, where you're speaking with Priya or Kavya. Somehow when the enactment comes, the real Puja comes. And then we could see that visibly. Why are you overreacting? And that really adds to the story that you are building. Kudos to that. I have few suggestions for you, which I think would help your speech further. So the first one is appropriateness of the content. The purpose of this particular speech is to identify your primary leadership styles and then share about that. You did mention that your primary leadership styles are democratic and bureaucratic, but I felt it didn't tie up to the speech overall, because at the end of the first speech, you mentioned you have assertive style, which more relates to authoritative leadership style. And then, but the conclusion was more of a democratic, which was little contrasting. So I would suggest, like say, if democratic and bureaucratic is your primary styles, take 2 stories on each of them and then conclude with what learnings you had. The second suggestion I had was the effectiveness of the speech. You had 2 key moments in your speech. Like in the first moment, when their relationship collapsed, there you could have used pauses really to your benefit. Like, she didn't speak to me because she hated me. She didn't speak because their relationship collapsed, is what you said. But consider this, like say, she didn't speak to me because she hated me, but pause and then say, because actually the relationship collapsed in a year. That impact would be much better. The third point was the stage movement and your entire stage presence. While you started the speech here, I think for the rest of the speech, you are moving kind of between the center portion here and there. I felt like a clear structure would have helped. Like say for Priya, I would stand here, I would speak to Priya here, come back, and then go to Kavya, speak to Kavya here. That would have been much better. So to conclude, Pooja, I think I really love the vivid descriptions. The gestures were great, and I love your enactments that you do. If you can work on the appropriateness of content, make the speech more effective with your pauses, and work on the stage improvement, I am really looking forward to your upcoming speeches. I know you would rock it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brightheart Wasim Fazal. To introduce the penultimate evaluator to evaluate speaker Sneha Masalkar, can we have on stage Brightheart Arna Gupta?
Good evening, bright hearts, guests, and my target speaker, Sneha. Today, you made an abstract concept such as mentorship relatable to each and every person here. And you did it through your powerful personal narratives. So, coming into my highlights for you. Firstly, that you not only met both the objectives, but you connected the audience with your story and taught us about the objectives also. Firstly, talking about your previous experience as a protein. You talked about Parimar ma'am, Pariyar ma'am, and we all could relate to a teacher seeing us, saying something as simple as you're a good writer, and that's sticking with us because kids need motivation. Coming to being a Toastmaster, I think all of us here have received feedback, even if we aren't Toastmasters, about specific things. So when you communicated that you got feedback to polish yourself and become a better version of yourself, not through changing everything about yourself, but only changing the way you connect with other people, I think that brought me back to the feedback I have received on stage. And that is what true mentorship is. You also perfectly illustrated how Toastmaster envisions mentorship, not only through your mentor Robinson sir in Bangalore Toastmasters Club, but also in Akshay, Arundhati, and Mani in Bright Hearts Toastmaster. Now, coming to a few suggestions that I have for you. You seemed a little flustered when you forgot one line of your speech. That tends to happen when your whole speech is in a flow and you've memorized it step by step. But I'm sure you didn't forget your stories. So the next time that happens to you, where you forget that one word or that one line that perfectly communicates what you need to with the audience, I would implore you to still move on. Your stories, your presence, and the way you articulate those stories is what truly matters on stage, not the specific sentence. So next time, if, for example, you're in the introduction, but you forgot the impact line that connects the introduction to your stories, just skip to the stories. Maybe say something along the lines of, so now, without further ado, I just want to take you back to when I was a shy kid and a teacher helped me. Secondly, you have a habit of pacing up and down the stage, which communicates a little bit of nervousness, and you lose half the audience for the time you're on this side and half the audience when you're on that side. I would implore you to practice staying in one place, even if it's in a corner of the stage, and trying to make eye contact with some of the people. It doesn't have to be each and every person in the audience, but sections still count. That will allow your stories, which are vivid and personal, to connect with everyone. In conclusion, I believe you connected strongly the objective to the audience and perfectly completed your objective for this speech. When going further, I would implore you to trust in those stories, even if you forget a few lines, and make contact with the audience so that you can have even a more powerful presence on stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Brightheart. Now with that, let's introduce our final evaluator for the day to evaluate Toastmaster Madhur. Let's invite Toastmaster Devsha Patnaik.
Brightland, a place where consistency, people, and structure get valued at the same time. Of course, it's only Brightland. All organizations still suffer with that. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. And definitely my target speaker, who I am hoping is online. Well, KISS definitely got my attention. Now, even with a broken back, my target speaker ensured that he could fill in the position that I dropped out in the last minute. So I give full marks for him to show up even with the injured marks. And that shows true leadership. Now, coming to his speech, whether he persuaded you or persuaded me or not is something I'll tell in the end. But let's look at what was right and what could be improved upon. He has developed a lot as a speaker in terms of his delivery, in terms of his personas. I mean, such catchy personas. Who wouldn't have loved them? This shows how much he has grown in his speech and, of course, the way he delivered. Now, if we have to talk about the persuasive speech framework, which I had highlighted in the beginning, did he touch upon ethos, pathos, logos? Let's understand it a little bit. Ethos means credibility. He definitely established credibility through his research, through his personas, which was easy to catch up on. Pathos, the emotions. He asked all of you to kind of close the eyes, feel it. He is definitely going to talk about a difficult topic, but he got every one of us right here and also go through the struggles that we were supposed to talk about. Logos I think is somewhere he needs to work upon. Logos means logic. When we are persuading someone, it is important that we give logic. For example, organizations where credibility, people, or consistency are valued, productivity has improved upon 10% year on year. That could have been a good insight and that would have convinced everyone that this is the right way to go in. Keep it simple and stupid. As he was giving an online speech and as a leader, we might have to invest a little bit on our online presence. Looking at the camera is important. Somewhere the eye movements were from left to right, which was slightly confusing whether he's looking at the paper, whether he's looking at a speech, which as a Toastmaster I observed, others might not. But it is important that we relate to the audience by looking at the camera directly. Other thing that could be done is giving a speech while standing on the stage, which is very much important. With that, if I have to conclude whether he was persuasive or not, I am convinced that we have to at times be simple because simplicity is the way forward. And I would like to conclude saying that his speech was persuasive. His speech had pathos and ethos. Logos is where he could have improved upon, and online presence is something that in the journey we'll understand how to improve upon it. With that, over to you.
Thank you so much. With that, we wrap up the evaluation section. Before we open up the lines for voting, Timer, are you ready to present the timer report? So can we have again back on stage Right Heart Teju Raju to present the timer report? Let's hear it for Teju. Teju, 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 Teju.
So here is a timing report of our speakers. Sangam 4 minutes 30 seconds, Ninad 4 minutes 55 seconds, Jurmin 5 minutes 24 seconds, Nivedita 6 minutes 37 seconds, Somil 6 minutes 10 seconds, Priyan 6 minutes 14 seconds, Pooja 7 minutes, Sneha 9 minutes 24 seconds, Madhur 7 minutes 50 seconds, Varun 1 minute 24 seconds, Sumit 1 minute 22 seconds, Vibha 2 minutes 43 seconds, Twinshu 4 minutes 16 seconds, Aditya 3 minutes 56 seconds, Wasim 3 minutes 22 seconds, Arna 3 minutes 46 seconds, and Debsha 3 minutes 36 seconds. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Teju. With that, requesting everyone to pull out your phones for one last time in this meeting. Type in bit.ly/BHTMVOTE2. It's the same URL as the first one, except instead of 1, it's a 2. bit.ly/BHTMVote2. Very short, simple, sweet form. Please vote for who you felt was the best speech evaluator, and also your valuable feedback on this meeting in terms of what went well and what we can do better. And a special note for guests, it is extra important that you fill out this form because it is in this form we get your details so that we can talk to you in subsequent meetings. So all guests, please do fill out this form as well. Sergeant Rams, how many votes do we have? How many votes do we have? 19? Okay. Those who are still voting, please continue to do so. Okay, as the Sergeant at Arms team tallies the results, may I please welcome back on stage to close the meeting our Vice President of Education and Presiding Officer for the day, Toastmaster Sayoj Varghese.
How's the Josh? Good. Sorry, we are just on another 15 minutes more before we close the meeting. Sorry, there was a delay there, but I hope all of you guys enjoy the meeting. Yes. So I would like to hear from some of the guests that we haven't heard before, and just a meeting feedback. Can I have next? Sorry, I will have to enjoy. Just tell your name.
Good evening, everyone. This is my first time in Bright Hearts Toastmasters Club, and it has been very fun to be as an audience. I'm Joel. I work in Goodera, which is a startup right across the building. I was a Toastmaster before in Kochi. It's called Cask Orators Club. I was the VP education there, and then right when I was about to be the president, they asked me to come to Bangalore, so I came here. And right now I'm just exploring all the clubs and trying to see how is everything going. And this is the first time actually I'm part of a speech marathon, and it's great. And all the speeches were wonderful, very diverse topics and great speakers as well. Wish all the speakers all the best for the contest, and great, happy to be here, and a great usage of 2.5 hours for me as well. Thank you, and back to the question.
Thank you, Joel. Sujit, can I have you?
Thank you. Hello all. Very good evening. My name is Sujit Godaskar. This is my first time visiting a Toastmaster, the club ever. So today I got to know how the structure works. I talked to Nivedita, I talked to Pooja, they were the part of the speaker list. So again, like I want to continue with the club, and maybe in future I'll be the part of the speaker list that I want to, and also I want to improve on my public speaking and stage presence. So yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujit. Yes, the guests, please note, you can reach out to Priyansh and Pooja, who are the part of the VP membership team. And also, I hope that in the vote too, the guests have entered their phone numbers and contact information so that we can reach out to you. Okay, so we had 8 speakers speaking, wonderful stories. It was great to hear. And we had all the level going from the icebreaker, Ninad, wonderful work, to our level 3 mother who's online. But now it's time for the results. Okay. Okay, so here's a problem. Okay, so we are having evaluation marathon coming up, the contest coming up. And one of the things is we today have only one evaluator, okay, because others have disqualified. Okay, so now the best evaluator for today is Wasim Fasil. Wasim, that was a wonderful evaluation. The way you picked up examples and talked about all the friends that Pooja had, it was great. It's wonderful to see you evaluate. And one of the things, please note, the timing is very important. That's something that all the evaluators need to practice and make sure you meet the time limit. You don't meet the time limit, you would be disqualified. Okay, now coming to the best speaker, 2. Toastmaster Nivedita. Toastmaster Nivedita, have you seen an elephant so big? I have been part of those meetings, and I know how tough it was and how tough it was for you to go on from a serious one to a humorous one, and you have brought that speech out and inspired all of them. A wonderful speech. Okay, now the winner of the speech marathon is Priyansh Tripathi. Priyansh, that was a memory to remember. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and that was a wonderful story to hear. And great work on your speech. Okay, before we adjourn the meeting, I have a couple of quick announcements. Folks, have you guys registered for the contest? Anyone not registered? So for you, Vibor, we are extending by end of day today. By tomorrow, by end of day today, the contest nominations will close. So if you haven't, please nominate yourself. The contest is on Feb 1st, which is the ISC and table topics, and Feb 15th, which would be the humorous speech and evaluation. Okay, and the next thing is, do we dim the lights? Okay, there's something from us. Happy birthday, Akshay. Yes. And with that, I will close meeting 65. And we could all come in for a photo.